The great hall of the Galactic Council shimmered with light from 1,000 stars, each window showing a different corner of the galaxy. Delegates from every known species filled the tiers of the chamber, their voices buzzing like a storm of noise. At the center of it all stood the human delegation, their uniforms simple and their posture straight. The lead representative, a man named Daniel, waited for the noise to fade, his hands folded behind his back. For years, humanity had struggled for respect among the elder races. They were seen as young, reckless, and noisy, a race that had risen from its homeworld too quickly. The council called them ambitious, but what they meant was dangerous. Humanity had grown through war and invention, through storms and fire, and though they had brought peace to their own world, the memory of their violent past still shadowed them. Now, the moment had come when the council would decide humanity's place among the stars. The chair of the council, a tall being with silver eyes and a voice like wind, spoke first. "Representatives of Terra," it said, "you have asked for full membership in the council. You claim to have earned equality with those who have watched the stars for millennia. But tell us, why should we trust a race that still builds weapons capable of burning worlds?" A wave of low laughter filled the chamber. Some delegates whispered to each other, some shook their heads. Humanity had brought them medicine that could heal in seconds, reactors that could power whole cities and ships that could fold space. But the others never forgot the weapons that came with those gifts. Daniel lifted his head and spoke calmly. "Because we have learned restraint. We do not fight for conquest anymore. We fight for peace, for the right to exist without fear." Another delegate, a creature of crystal and gas, rippled with amusement. "You speak of peace, yet your fleets are vast. Even now your machines of war orbit your worlds." "They are not for you," Daniel replied. "They are for what lies beyond the rim. For the things that hunt the light." A silence settled, but only for a moment before another delegate burst into laughter. "Stories," it said. "Every young race invents monsters to justify their fear. Humanity had warned the council many times about what lurked beyond the dark edge of the galaxy. They had seen ships vanish, colonies burned without trace, and signals that came from nowhere. But no one listened. The council had mocked them before, but this time the laughter cut deeper. It wasn't only disbelief, it was ridicule. Daniel's second, a woman named Mira, stepped forward. "We have shared data, images, and records of our losses," she said. "Do you think we imagine the silence of whole systems?" The chair leaned forward. "We think you imagine threats to keep your fleets armed. We think you wish to spread your fear to us. You are still children, reaching for power before wisdom." A murmur of approval spread through the chamber. One by one, the lights of the other species blinked green in agreement. Daniel stood still. His eyes didn't show anger. They showed something quieter, resignation. "Then we understand," he said softly. "You do not believe us." "You never did," the chair gave a slow nod. "You may remain as observers, but you will not sit among equals. Humanity must learn humility before it earns trust." The counselors began to record the vote, but Daniel lifted his hand. "No," he said. "You misunderstand. We are not asking anymore." The hall went silent again. Even the lights seemed to dim. Daniel stepped forward until his shadow touched the base of the council platform. "When humanity came to the stars, we came with open hands. We shared what we learned. We offered our discoveries, our cures, our technology. You took them all. You accepted our gifts, but not our warnings." The delegates shifted uneasily. "Now you laugh," Daniel said. "But when the darkness comes, you will remember this moment. You will remember that humanity tried to stand beside you." The chair leaned back, its silver eyes narrowing. "Are you threatening us?" Daniel shook his head. "No, we are finished explaining ourselves. We have tried reason, patience, and goodwill. All we received was mockery. So today, humanity will walk away." The hall erupted in confusion. Voices clashed, translators buzzed, and disbelief echoed through every speaker. Mira activated a small device at her wrist. Across the vast dome, the human emblem flickered once and vanished from the council's registry. "Wait," the chair said. "You cannot withdraw from the council without approval." Daniel turned, his tone steady. "We just did." And then, in perfect silence, the human delegation walked out of the chamber. No one tried to stop them. No one believed they would truly leave. But as the heavy doors closed, a strange feeling filled the hall. A sense that something vast had just shifted. Over the next months, the absence of humanity was felt everywhere. Trade routes that had relied on human ships slowed. Medical supplies that came from human laboratories stopped arriving. Worlds that depended on human technology began to falter. At first, the Council tried to manage on its own. They called it an opportunity to prove independence. But systems that once hummed with efficiency began to fail. Machines broke without human engineers to repair them. Entire sectors grew cold and dark. Then came the first reports. A mining station on the edge of Council space went silent. Then a research outpost. Then an entire colony world. The same signs humanity had once described. Communications fading, ships found adrift with no crew. Power cores drained to nothing. The Council dismissed it as coincidence. Until the day their own border fleets vanished. By the time they realized what was happening, it was too late. The things beyond the rim had come. They were not creatures in the way most species understood. They moved like shadows through the void, devouring energy, erasing matter, feeding on the very fabric of space. No weapon touched them, no shield held. The Council's grand fleets, once symbols of power, dissolved like mist before them. Panic spread through the galaxy. Pleas for help filled every channel, and one message echoed louder than the rest. Where are the humans? But humanity had gone silent. Months turned into years. Worlds fell. The Council tried to reach Earth again, sending envoys, messages, even surrender offers. None returned. Some said the humans had sealed their space, surrounding their borders with fields that bent light and time. Others said they had left entirely, moving beyond the galaxy. And then one day, the darkness came to the edge of the old human frontier. The Council fleets followed, desperate and broken, hoping that perhaps the humans would forgive them. What they found left them speechless. Stretching across 100 systems was a wall of light, a vast network of stations and fortresses connected by energy that pulsed like a living thing. It was the human defense line, built in silence, perfected in isolation. When the shadows reached it, the wall came alive. Thousands of ships emerged, silent and black, moving with the precision of thought. They opened fire, not in fury but in control. The stars themselves seemed to tremble. For the first time, the darkness faltered. On one of the command stations, Daniel stood before a vast window, watching the distant glow of battle. Mira joined him. "They finally came," she said quietly. Daniel nodded. They always would. The Council never believed because they never had to fight for their survival. They had peace handed to them. We had to build ours. Do we help them? Mira asked. Daniel looked at the endless horizon of light. We already are. The human fleets fought with precision born of loss. They had trained for this since the first warning signs, long before the Council had laughed. Their machines were not built for conquest now. They were built for defense, for preservation. The war machines that the Council had mocked as dangerous had become guardians. For days the battle raged. The wall held, though entire stations burned away in silence. Every time a human ship fell, another took its place. Humanity fought not for glory but for everyone who had once turned their backs. When the darkness finally broke and scattered back into the void, the galaxy lay silent once more. The Council sent another message. A simple transmission carried on the same channel humanity had once used. We were wrong. We ask forgiveness. We ask for alliance. For a long time there was no reply. Then a single message returned. Humanity does not seek revenge, but we no longer seek approval. Protect your own worlds. Stand on your own feet. That is the lesson we learned long ago. The transmission ended. The Council waited for more, but nothing came. Still, something changed. In the years that followed, the Council races began to rebuild. They started sharing knowledge the way humans once had. They learned to fight together, to innovate, to prepare. And though they never again saw human ships in open space, they sometimes caught faint signals from the void, bursts of light, strange patterns of code, whispers in the dark. Some said humanity was still watching. Others believed they had gone beyond the stars, guarding from afar. But every race that had once mocked them remembered the silence of that day. The day humanity walked out without anger, without threat, and the universe itself seemed to pause. In the quiet that followed, even the stars seemed to whisper. They had laughed at the humans once. They would never laugh again, and somewhere, far beyond the Council's reach, a fleet moved through the endless dark, carrying a single message carved into the hull of every ship. We tried to warn you. And above those words, a new one had been added. Never again. The stars burned brighter that night, as if the universe itself bowed its head in understanding. Humanity had not vanished.